Hey, what's going on, Archons? I'm back at it again, showcasing some decks that actually I accidentally played on stream instead of other decks I was supposed to, because I hadn't made a video on these ones yet, but they are two of my favorite decks that have opened in our Friday Night Forge pairing between me and my friend Sierra Alpha, and they're pretty special. So this is the one I played to start with. It's Gigalaf, the Wooden Forge Swindler with the Saurian Logos Untamed suite. And he rocked to kick things off in our sealed adaptive Sanctum Dis Untamed. So we have the Untamed connection. Let me show you what's in these because they're both pretty special. So we got Autoencoder, 2 bot booked-ins, a Daughter, Effervescent Principle, Even Ivan ×2, Infomorph with a pip, Lethalogica with a damage pip, Opposition Research with a draw pip, Cyber Clone, and Odd Claude. And then moving on to Saurian, we got an Axiom of Grisk, Curse of Vanity, 2 Galeotops, a Saurian Sagittarius Gaze with 2 draw pips, 2 Spoils of Battle, Theros Centurion, Exile Gladiodontus with a pip, Imperial Road, Lycosaurus, and then here's where things get real fun. We got a Bandangle with a pip, Ghost Talk with a pip, 3 Gloriana's Attendants, Keyfrog, 2 Resurgence, Lodon, Lumilu with a draw and a pip, and then we got Wild Spirit with a pip and a damage. Oh, and forgot Word of Returning. Yeah, I can't forget the Word of Returning because it's pretty key. You'll see as you see the other deck. So what's really cool about this deck is you can see all the stats for it there. Is I mean, the Logos is really cool, but Autoencoder is key to this deck. This is actually my favorite deck to play right now. I'm loving it so much. The Lethalogica is cool, of course. Opposition Research is fine. Cyber Clone is extremely powerful. Like, I feel this is a very underrated card in the game and sometimes not thought about in removal, but it is such a great removal card. It takes care of a lot of things and just makes yourself have a creature on the board afterwards. But it's really the removal factor, I think, is more important than what you gain in terms of power and armor from the creature. Grisk is great. It's obviously any removal is good. Curse of Vanity is fine. The Galeotops, well, actually the Curse of Vanity is really nice, but you have to be careful. And then the double Galeotops actually is potent, and you'll see coming up soon. Obviously this is just great. Exalted damage creature, depending on the situation you're in, you may exalt your own creature just because there's 2 Spoils of Battles, and depending on what you need to do, this could lead to a good moment of getting some extra Ember control. I mean, between those, the Exalt Theros Centurion, you just have a lot of options. And Lycosaurus, you even play that and exalt it to destroy another creature, and then it gives you an extra Ember for Spoils of Battle. There's also cool ways you can like exile your own creatures. Exile is actually pretty good because you have some smaller creatures on the board here. Actually, I think the Gloriana's Attendants are the main targets, where if you're gonna Spoils a Battle, you can do different things in that way, like throw it out there, exalt that, obviously not damaged, but then Spoils a Battle it, and then you exile it to the other side, and if you're not in need, you can just Lycosaurus it and get that Ember. So there's some fun little combos in that regard. Very combo heavy deck. Then onto Untamed. Obviously the Fandangle is just gangster in this deck, but it's going to be a target every time. But I don't mind it being a target, because if it gets killed or destroyed, sorry, use proper terminology here, and put into your discard, that's fantastic. Because and same with Ghost Talk. I actually like Ghost Talk ending up in the discard, because there's ways you can then start rocking your Resurgences and bring them back and just do some shenanigans, which is always great. The Gloriana's Attendants I actually really like, and if it Autoencoder's out, these will never ever get played. They're auto discards, archiving cards. My favorite thing to do is actually discard 2, play Resurgence, get them back, and discard them again to archive 4 cards. Oh, you love it. And then you also have Lodon to make that a burst as well. So such epic like burst potential in this. Lumilu is so powerful in this. Not only can you Resurgence Lumilu to get the use of a draw and pip again, but there's actually a good amount of beasts in here, because you have Ghost Hawk, you have Keyfrog, and then you have the 2 Galeotops. So it makes it a really potent card. I'm absolutely loving this deck and everything it does. Oh yeah, and then Wild Spirit is also fun because you can Ghost Hawk put it on a creature that Ghost Hawk is going to then activate, and then you get some Ember control there, so it's really good. And obviously Word of Returning is Word of Returning, and it does things. So yeah, this deck is really great. I find that the autoencoder being out significantly amplifies the potency of this deck. Now on to the next deck, which is definitely no slouch. So we got Dominator Bauble, Drekker with a Capture, Imp Spectre, Infernus, Markadis, Obsidian Forge, Pandemonium, Relentless Creeper, and then here it is, Sins. We got Gluttony, Greed with a Capture, and Wrath. And then we go on to Sanctum with Ardent Hero, 2 Fonts of the Eye, General Salvador with a Capture, Smite, Baranon, Bring Low, Equalize with a Capture, which is really cool, Potion of Invulnerability, Scrivener Fabian, yeah, that's right, Spirit's Way, and then Vemos Lightbringer. And then we got 2 Cephaloist, Dark Fairy, Flumph with the Capture, Ghost Hawk, Keyfrog with the Savage Clash, love to see it, Song of the Wild with a Dark Harbinger, which is so tight, Trimble, Wild Spirit, and then Mutation of Cunning. And obviously the Wild Spirit, Song of the Wild, the Dark Harbinger combo is really good. Not a ton of actions here, so you have to be careful with the Savage Clash, but I mean, if you can pull off the Mutation of Cunning, Song of the Wild, Dark Harbinger, you're in a good place there. So what's really cool about this deck in particular is it captures like crazy. Like you have no idea how much capture it does. And then the Obsidian Forge is so cool in this deck. Like I love it. It works really well. And then obviously you have Keyfrog as well, which is never a bad thing to have. But what actually makes this deck so wild is this one right here, Gluttony. So not only do you have a ton of capture here, but you have a double Font of the Eye, which is crazy. So you're looking, and then you have Bring Low. So you're actually looking to set up turns where you get your Gluttony really well protected. And then you have Pandemonium as well, which is so good because you basically can capture opponent's Ember and then get it all back. Like the combos with Gluttony is amazing, but I'm still trying to figure this deck out totally. I definitely want to put more reps into it, but I think the most potent plays, you almost have to hold off on your Gluttony and then be able to come and just do this out of nowhere. So you almost want to get that captured Ember and then Gluttony, boom, and hopefully they don't have a response, and make sure that Ember's spread out. It's not all on one creature to give you that ability. It's super good. And obviously Greed can help aid that. The best combo here is like Wrath with the Sins on either side, throw an Ardent Hero on the other side just to make it ultra taunted, and then you're just laughing and you just have fun. The Untamed is Untamed. It's great. There's lots of fun stuff here. I mean, even Ghost Hawk onto the Greed is not a bad one if you can deploy that, sorry, not Greed, onto Gluttony and then get that to take effect when they think it's not happening. It's definitely a potential for some fun stuff. But I mean, this deck just lends into the way everything builds here. Like it's such a cool capture and then get rid of that Ember deck. It's really dope. So I'm wondering, which one of these would you rather play? Because I think they were both epic. Like this is one of the hardest ones I've come across. And oddly enough, I'm curious what you think has the higher SAS of the two. What do you think? Pause. Guess. Okay, you know which one? This one significantly has a higher SAS than this one, but I enjoy playing this one much more. This is the one that I would rather play. Although this one I think has the better, they're both combo decks, like heavy combo decks, but this is like almost 10 SAS higher than that one. And it's still not, this one's only like a 66 SAS, which is kind of wild. But it combos off like crazy. When you get it, this deck does things like you would not believe. It's my main deck I'm playing the most right now. I just absolutely love it. It's so much fun to play, especially when you get all the cool things. I had such a bad losing record with this to start with, and I refused to give up. I was convinced that the reason it was losing was because of how I was playing, not because of how the deck was. And then I'm starting to turn a corner with it now. This deck obviously kind of smashes this deck because it has so much hate towards captured Ember, so it can do some things which is really wild. But when we played, this deck actually won, and it won I think with quite a few chains as well, I believe. I may be mistaken, but yeah, this deck ended up I think winning. Yeah, we went to best of 3 adaptive and it won. So Pretty cool set of decks. Tell me your thoughts on them. They're a lot of fun. I'm going to be streaming tomorrow, Tuesday night, because Thursday I will be indisposed. And I got a lot of decks to play. Like, you guys don't even understand. Like, check this out. Quick little peep. That is the pile of decks that needs to be played. Plus, these two probably won't be a part of it, but if we have time, yes, because I played these on my last stream if you want to see how they rock. So thanks for tuning in, and as always, folks, may your ember never be stolen and your keys forged promptly.